I would like to thank the organizers for inviting me and give me the possibility to bring to you a summary of our work and in these issues. Dear participants, after the 19th, Albania entered in a long and difficult way of transformation from a dictatorial system where the human rights and individual freedoms were limited as much as the individual was completely in disposal of the society and the ruling ideology. In a democratic state where the respect of human rights is an essential condition in this long way of transformation. Due to the achievement of this goal, important steps have been taken in the process of alignment of the Albanian legislation on the human rights and fundamental freedoms with the international standards for their protection and the establishment of mechanisms that ensure their effective protection. The protection of human rights, in my view, as the individual freedoms of LGBT community has an important principles according to which the LGBT community enjoy the same rights as any other person for equality and non-discrimination and to exercise of the human rights. About the legal standards, the Albanian legislation offers a general protection of the human rights and especially of the principle of equality and non-discrimination. The Constitution of the Republic of Albania provides for the protection of the human rights and fundamental freedoms in a specific chapter, putting emphasizes that it is the Constitution itself that in some specific provisions aims to conduct the respect for the principle of equality and non-discrimination. Moreover, that the limitation of the human rights and fundamental freedoms cannot exist those provided in the European Convention for the Protection of Human Rights. Article 18 of the Constitution of the Republic of Albania provides that all are equal before the law and no one may be unjustly discriminated against for reasons such as gender, race, religion, ethnicity, language, political, religious or philosophical beliefs, economic condition, education, social status or parentage. As stated above, the Albanian Constitution does not provide for the sexual orientation and gender identity as a ground of discrimination. In a wide sense, the gender identity can be understood by the term gender. In Article 116, the Constitution of Albania provides that the normative acts that come after the Constitution for their judicial power are the international agreements ratified by law. This gives the opportunity to refer to the very important international documents such as the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, etc., to the European Convention for the Protection of Human Rights and Fundamental Freedoms, and to the jurisprudence of European Court of Human Rights that have provided the right of non-discrimination on grounds of sexual orientation and gender identity in the same manner. In comparison with the international acts, we can say that it has similarities with the concept that the European Convention for the Protection of Human Rights and Fundamental Freedoms give in Article 14. But we can say that the adoption of the law for the protection from discrimination presents a positive step for the LGBT community regarding to the protection of their rights. This law contains a non-exhaustive list of grounds for which it ensures protection from the discriminatory behaviors, but it also provides explicitly the ground of sexual orientation and gender identity. Article 1 of the law provide that the law aims to regulate the implementation and respect for the principle of equality in connection with gender, race, color, ethnicity, language, gender identity, sexual orientation, political, religious, or philosophical beliefs, economic, education, or social situations, pregnancy, parentage, parental responsibility, age, family or marital condition, civil status, residence, health status, genetic predispositions, disability, affiliation with a particular group, or for any other reasons. Moreover, the law gives the definitions and a series of very important concepts like direct discrimination, indirect discrimination, discrimination because of association, victimization, harassment, etc. Referring to the toolkit of the European unions, we appreciate that one of the main priorities of this Union is the decriminalization of the sexual relationship between persons with the same sex. I emphasize that Albania has decriminalized these relationships since 1995. Another topic is the establishment of mechanisms for the protection of the rights of LGBT community. The Constitution of the Republic of Albania provides for the establishment of mechanisms that ensure the protection of the rights and of the LGBT community in general. For the first time, the Constitution provides for the establishment of the Ombudsman as a constitutional institution for the protection of the human rights and fundamental freedoms of individuals from the illegal actions of the public administration. Anyway, joining also the concern of the High Commissioner of Human Rights of the Council of Europe pertaining to the establishment of national institutions of equality and non-discrimination, and also to determining an explicit term for the examination of the complaints coming from this community, we can say that Albania has passed this difficulty in its legislation. The law for the protection from discrimination has provided for the establishment of the institution of the Commissioner for the Protection from Discrimination as an independent institution which ensures effective protection from discrimination and every form of conduct that encourages discrimination. This institution has the competences not only to make recommendations for any kind of issues related to discrimination, but also to impose administrative sanctions according to this law. The Commissioner guarantees the protection from the discriminatory behaviors in the main fields, education, employment, and in the field of the goods and services. Paying attention to the protection of the human rights defenders, the law contains some provisions that put the Commissioner in an interesting report with these defenders. The law for the protection from discrimination provided about the competences that the Commissioner has the competence to examine complaints from organizations that have a lawful interest to act in the name and with the written right and consent of individuals or groups of individuals who claim that discrimination has occurred, to hold a regular dialogue in connection with issues of discrimination with the respective social groups, including non-governmental organizations, about the procedures a person or group of persons who claim that they have been discriminated against, or an organization with legitimate interest that claims discrimination in the name of a person or group of persons may submit a complaint together with available evidence to the Commissioner in writing or in exceptional cases orally. About the concrete situation, despite the fact that Albanian legislation recognizes a series of individual rights as other people to this community, for example, the right of association, freedom of expression, protection of personal data, etc., the effective exercise of this right is far away from the standards offered by law. First, I would emphasize that there are no proper studies for the level of the enjoyment of the fundamental rights from LGBT community in Albania, but the reality offers concrete cases that give a general perception over the attitude of the public as well as the public institutions against the problematic concerning this community. There have been some cases of violation from the citizens as well as from the police officers against the representative of the LGBT community, mainly of transgender. Moreover, complaints have been submitted to the Office of the Commissioner claiming for not offering of the service required to the police officers from the representative of this community or the acceptance and accomplishment only but the help of the non-governmental organization that offer help for these people. I want to emphasize here the transgender community, although small in number, has major problematic that has to do with the housing, employment, education, and especially with the health care. As many of them belong also to the Roma community, their situation becomes harder. Measures undertaking by the institutions. The first is the adoption of the law for the protection from discrimination. The second is the collaboration between public institution and NGO to guarantee an effective protection of the rights of LGBT people, and the establishment of an international institutional working group from the Ministry of Labor, Social Affairs and Equal Opportunity to realize the necessary measures for the protection of the rights of the LGBT community. The main purpose of this working group is the legal reform for the alignment of the existing legislation with the law for the protection from discrimination with focus on the LGBT community. Thank you.